Hello everyone and welcome back to Meeple Leaf Reviews. I'm Jeffrey.
And I am Jacob.
And today we're going to be doing another before and after, where we take a look at a game before and after our very first play. Today the game is Grand Austria Hotel from Mayfair Games. So Grand Austria Hotel is kind of a dice pool drafting game about managing a hotel. You have guests coming and you're trying to fulfill their food needs in the cafe before you send them to their rooms. And the cool thing about this, I think for the dice pool drafting, is that the pip that's showing dictates what action you can take.
Yeah.
But the number of dice that are rolled for that side is how many times you can take that action.
That's right, yeah.
So you have to decide, do I want to take an action that has a whole lot while there's still lots of dice there? Or if there's only one of a dice, do I really want to take that one first so I can get access to that action?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting. It's a little kind of reverse play on dice pooling. So I think it'll be a real interesting mechanic to play around with and see how it works. I do have a few reservations in that if one dice is just never rolled all the time, you may never be able to take that action. Now, they have mitigated that with the sixth side, where you can take any action with the sixth dice. But what if neither of them are ever rolled?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I'm going in. I'm expecting, it to be pretty easy to pick up. Doesn't seem like there's many complicated mechanisms in the game. And I think it's going to be, some cool decisions, some fun play, and I think I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to be very simplistic. Reading through the rules, there wasn't a lot there, but enough, I think, to make the game interesting. So I'm going in with kind of medium expectations. I don't think it would be something that I would ask for a lot to come to the table, but maybe after our first play, I will want to play it again right away.
All right, well, let's play the game, and then we'll see what we think after. All right, everyone, welcome back. We just finished our first play of Grand Austria Hotel, and we're just going to break it down into a couple different areas. First, art and components. What did you think, Jake?
Yeah, the artwork's all right. Nothing spectacular, but it's clean and it looks good. Yeah. Components, nothing really to complain about here for me.
I really like the artwork. I really like Clement Franz's artwork. He did a lot of artwork for local games, their other games, so I really enjoyed it. And components are good as well. For rules and teaching, we didn't teach the game because we both knew it going in, but it was a pretty clean system. I didn't have to go darting back to the rulebook too often, except for just a couple of the staff and visitor cards to just clarify what they did.
Yeah, rules were fairly clean. As I read through, I had a little bit of struggling with just certain aspects of the game and how they actually flowed. But once we got into the game and started using them, it was like, oh, okay, this is how this is all going to roll. And yeah, it was pretty clean. And iconography was good in the game. It was pretty self-explanatory to a degree. Like you said, there was a couple of the staff members that had certain icons that were just like, I'm going to double check this.
Yeah. The theme, did you feel like you were running a hotel, Jacob?
I guess a little bit. Like, I feel like the actions were thematic to a degree. So it did play out there, but I didn't feel like, oh yeah, this is my illustrious hotel and I'm serving strudels and wine.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like was that they had cake and strudels. I feel like those are very similar products, but then coffee and wine are, different. Opposites. I feel like it should have been like cake and steak or something like that. So you can have steak and wine for some clients, and other ones that want like the desserts, they could go with coffee and cake or something. But that's, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I felt like, you could definitely feel like you're building a hotel, but I didn't feel like, oh, this is my awesome hotel.
Yeah.
So then on to gameplay and mechanics. I remember starting the game and thinking, oh my goodness, I'm only going to get 14 actions in this game. Am I ever going to get anything done? Yeah. But by the end of the game, you do get a lot done with just those 14 actions.
Yeah, there's a bunch of free actions that you get with your guests. You know, you'll put a guest in your hotel and he'll allow you to do something that you would otherwise have to take an action to get.
Yeah.
So,
and then that's the other thing that I really enjoyed about the game was the combo nature of the staff cards and the guests that you get. So I'm like, oh, I have this staff guy who gives me this discount or allows me to do this, and then if I play this visitor, putting him into the room, and then it kind of just, boom, 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 you putting this combo together.
Yeah. My one thing that I was saying in the beginning, I had worries about the dice rolling and whether you'd be able to take certain actions or not. Yeah, that was not an issue at all.
No.
Like we said, with the guests, they give you bonus actions. With your staff, they give you bonus actions. And then the amount of times that you can re-roll, just if that one thing isn't showing up for you, it's going to happen. You'll be able to take that action more likely than not.
Yeah, you'll always be able to take the action that you want, but it might not be as efficient as you want to get it.
Yeah, you might be struggling to get that action 4 times.
Yeah.
But you can always usually take it at least once, if not twice.
Yeah. Also, money was really tight in the game, which is something I really liked.
I'm finding I really like that in games. Any game that has a real tight money system, I really enjoy it.
Because it just puts that extra tension. It's like, oh, I could, I could spend this extra money to get the bonus action, but then, like there was a lot of times in the game I was sitting at like $1.
Yeah. So what am I going to spend this penny on?
And money is victory points in this game as well. So every time you're spending $1 to do something, it's costing you a victory point, which is really cool. So my expectation going in was that it was going to be a good game. I think it exceeded. I really, really like this game. It took us an hour and 20 minutes playing 2-player and learning the first round. Yeah. So I can see it being about an hour long game once you get into it. It was really great.
Yeah, this I kind of went in with medium range expectations. This far exceeded it. I really like this game, and I will be asking for it to come to the table for sure. Yeah, lots of tough choices, lots going on, and kind of a brain burner. And I think that kind of brain burning aspect, because you have so many choices and so few actions, is the reason why it took so long. And as you play the game more, I believe the time duration of play is just going to lower.
All right, that's Grand Austria Hotel. I would definitely recommend checking it out.
And I would as well, which brings us to our discussion topic of the video. There was a slight rules misprint in the rule book that I felt was unintentional.
And I kind of think it was intentional.
So we wanted to read that for you and get your opinion on whether you think it's intentional or not.
So in the rule book, it describes the 2 different actions. One where you take cake and strudel, and then the other one is exactly the same except you take wine and coffee. So in the rule book, it says you take 1 cake or 1 strudel, and then it says you can take any combination of cake and coffee. So it's supposed to be cake and strudel, but it says cake and coffee. Then they have the little Austria Hotel guy. He kind of chimes in with his own input. So when he's explaining the wine and coffee, he says, if you understand action 1, you also understand this one. You are not dumb after all.
So they misprinted the first one, saying cake and coffee instead of cake and strudel. They do it correctly in the second one, saying wine or coffee.
Yeah.
And then he chimes in saying you're not dumb if you understand the first one, but they misprinted the first one.
Which is why I think that it was intentional, that it was kind of like, were you actually paying attention?
Right. And I think they just fudged it and made a big mistake here, and now they don't look so smart themselves.
All right, well, let us know what you think. We'll put a link for the rulebook so you can check it out. It's on page 7 in the rulebook, and let us know in the comments below.
All right.
See you guys next time.